Ladies and gentlemen, Jasper Gonzo here. What's next? For this morning, we are going to continue the politics of what we kind of leaded into yesterday. Of course, as I spoke a little bit yesterday in my intro, in regards to the Dementia administration hacking the court. Well, this is not some misnomer. This is not some rumor. This is not some, hey, by the way, I heard something. This is exactly what they're trying to do. Yesterday, these couple of knuckleheads from the Democratic Party were out there with a sign called "Pack the Court." Yes, pack the court. A number of Democrats, including one young Democrat who I never heard of, who actually had his own little montage video of how racist the courts are and how we need to straighten things out because of the January 6th incident. Well, we need to pack the court. We need to slap another 4 on top of the court. As I said in my intro yesterday, also, it would become worthless. But let's take a look. This comes out of Breitbart. This is what's been going on in the last 100 days. This is going to be like a little bit of a compilation. Radical Democrat priorities in Biden's first 100 days. Packing courts, amnesty, reparations, federalizing elections, DC statehood, banning the Electoral College. Woo! Talk about having a lot on your plate. From the Dementia administration. The Democrats have proposed within President Biden's first 100 days radical initiatives contrary to Biden's back to normalcy, quote unquote, campaign sold to the American people. And at the same time, he did sell the Brooklyn Bridge. He sold snow to an Eskimo. He also said he told the obvious, the sun is hot, water is wet, to someone who denied it and accused him of denying climate change. Accordingly, the Democrats have introduced the following radical initiatives: packing courts, amnesty, reparations, federalized elections, DC statehood, and banning Electoral College in the intro. These radical ideas, I'm going to go beyond radical. I'm going to say these are just outright stupid. Ideas and proposals run counter to what Biden said during the announcement speech for president. The American people want their government to work, and I don't think that it's too much for them to ask. I know some people in D.C. say it can't be done, but let me tell you them something. And make sure they understand this. The country is sick of the division. They're sick of the fighting. They're sick of the childish behavior. That was candidate Dementia during the campaign. My. Agenda number 1, actually not in any particular order. Packing of the Supreme Court. Supreme Court's packing initiative had not been attempted since 1937. But that changed April 15th when several congressmen introduced legislation to do so. This is one of the clowns who stood on Capitol Hill shooting his mouth off. Ed Markey of Massachusetts, who is long overdue to go home. Quote, "Our democracy is in jeopardy today." Where, one again, and I have to remind over and over again, we are not a democracy, we are a republic. Is in jeopardy today because of the Supreme Court standing is sorely damaged. The way we repair is straightforward. We can undo the damage that the Republicans have done by restoring balance, and we do it by adding 4 seats to the court to create a 13-member Supreme Court. So, of course, Markey says that the damage done by the Republicans during the Trump administration when he added 3 seats when he added three new justices to the court, as we all know, Gorsuch, Kavanaugh, and oh my gosh, Barrett Coney, Coney Barrett. Sorry, I do apologize for that, Coney Barrett. Yeah, but if you look at their recent decisions, can you really call them conservative? Just saying. Quote from Jerry Nadler, another clown Democrat from New York. It's a nice number. Quote, Senator McConnell and the Republicans packed the court over the last couple of years, as Senator Markey outlined. No, the Republicans did not pack the court. They did according to the Constitution. The president is allowed to nominate, just as Obama did in filling seats during his tenure. Trump did the same. Trump was allowed to do so because, like I said, it was his constitutional duty. Yet when Joe Biden was asked about packing the court during his campaign, he would not articulate his direct position in fear of its shaky popularity. Not shaky. The overwhelming majority, excuse me, the overwhelming majority of the American people were like, no. Supreme Court's been fine for 9 justices for a better part of 70 plus years. Yeah, nice try. Upon the news of a court-packing bill, Speaker Nancy Pelosi says she stands with Biden and the commission without entirely dismissing the pending legislation.
To be considered, and I think the president's taken the right approach to have a commission to study such a thing. It's a big step. It's not out of the question. It has been done before in the history of.
Now, of course, Nancy Pelosi, clown. Let's keep moving. Number 2, amnesty. The Biden administration released its wish list amnesty and cheap labor bill January 29th, while indicating it would cooperate to push through a series of smaller amnesty bills. Bipart Neil Monroe said, quote, if we can reach an agreement soon, very soon, we'll have a base bill reintroduced, and then that will be our starting point to build support as well as any additions to, Dick Durbin said. As anybody knows, he goes by the lovely name of Dickhead. Quote, if Congress is able to put together a package that with a path to citizenship for essential workers, dreamers, temporary protect status holders, and agricultural workers, that's something that the White House now would give a good look into, an undisclosed source said. Of course, the delusion of the American electorate, replaced with voters favoring the Democratic Party, is the ultimate goal. We're going to try to speed through these. Reparations, an absolute joke. The House Judiciary Committee approved a bill Wednesday that would designate a commission to study reparations for Black Americans over slavery, pretty much saying, hey, you know what? Anybody, over the age of 50, yeah, you deserve some monies. No, that's not how it works. You got 3 and 4 generations of Black Americans who had basically had nothing to do with the Civil War. None. They may have had history. Yeah, they may have history. Some of their great-great-grandfathers and grandmothers might have been slaves during the Civil War. I understand that. But at the same time, you as an 18, 20, 25, 30-year-old, 40-year-old should not be having your hand down saying, I deserve my monies. No, that's not how it works. No, because you could say the same thing about the Irish. You could say the same thing about the Chinese. Chinese Americans in this country, Irish Americans in this country, who were slaves who were brought over for that purpose, to do these manual labor projects during the early years of this country. So, yeah, the whole 400 years, you can't use that. You can't use that. But then again, we got those in this country who do use that. You got those in the mainstream media who use that racism to say, hey, it's racist. We deserve reparations. No, absolutely not. Quote, the bill will create a 15-member commission to study and develop reparation proposals for African Americans, which would recommend appropriate remedies, i.e. monies, like the money we don't have, the money we didn't have last year when we were giving out COVID relief, the same monies we don't have now. But then again, it's never stopped Congress from cranking out those bills the same way Fred Flintstone was cranking out those bills in his basement that Barney Rubble said, whoa, Fred, you need to stop. Quote, this comes from Burgess Owens, one of two black Republicans in the House, characterized the legislation as portraying black communities as helpless while ignoring their successes. He's absolutely right. Absolutely right. And once again, let me remind that there were more entrepreneurs, black entrepreneurs, minority entrepreneurs during the years of President George W. Bush than there were under the 8 years of Obama. There were more entrepreneurs, black entrepreneurs, online and in business under the years of Trump than there were under 8 years of Obama. Look it up. Federalizing the elections. Of course, as we all know, that they are trying to basically pass this ignorant bill, H.R. 1, dubbed, quote, For the People Act. No, it's not for you. It's not for me. It's for them. It is absolutely for them, the Democrats, to wield power, as much power as they could possibly have, to make this a one-party system, to basically wreck this country. And as we've seen literally over the last 3 months, they are accomplishing just that. Quote, if this bill passes, it puts all these terrible, it puts in all these terrible provisions, automatic and same-day registration, voting access, vote by mail, i.e. early voting, imposes limits on removing voters from voter rolls. Like dead people that can't vote, but let's keep them on. Illegals that can vote, but yeah, let them vote illegally more than once, twice, 3 times. Who cares? If you live in different states, you live in Utah, you used to live in Kansas. Guess what? You're still gonna get the vote by mail. Sure, you can still vote in Kansas, and you can still vote in Utah, because that's the Democratic way. Quote, Fox News reported, the legislation would establish a 6-to-1 match for each grassroots contribution to candidates up to $200. For example, $200 donation to a House candidate will garner $1,200 in match in public funds for a total contribution of $1,400. So if you donate $200, Democratic Joe down the street will get $1,200 for a total of $1,400. Because that seems fair. At the end of the day, the electoral process is in jeopardy. We need more bills that correct issues like the one passed in Georgia, signed by Governor Kemp, across the country. It needs to be a wholeheartedly states coming out and slamming these moronic issues. DC statehood, real quick. Democrats want D.C. as a state. They want Puerto Rico as a state. Why? You get 4 more representatives. You get 2 more. Excuse me. You get 2 more. You get 4 more senators. You get addition to representatives, and of course, all Democrat. Shocker, because we've seen, like I said, as an Hispanic whose heritage is Puerto Rican, Puerto Rico has done such a tremendous job with their government. Billions in debt, corrupt governor, corrupt legislation, but and once again, the Democratic way. Like the Electoral College. To eliminate the Electoral College basically means, we're not gonna let this nonsense that's been going on for I don't know how many decades and decades, that at the end it's a popularity contest. Because if it were, Hillary Clinton would have been president. Oof, wouldn't have that been fun? But the Electoral College is necessary, and it must. Literally just had it. This is a question asked by Steve Doocy of Fox News regarding Biden's comment back in 1983 regarding court packing.
To follow up on Ed's questions about the Supreme Court action today, President Biden once said in 1983 he thought court packing was
time back machine.
Oh yeah. He said he thought that court packing was a bonehead idea when FDR tried it. So why ask a panel now to go and see if it is a good idea?
Well, first, the panel is being asked to take a number of steps, including the pros and cons on exactly that issue. But they will
no circle back?
Looking at the court's role in the constitutional system, the length of service and turnover of justices on the court, the membership and size of the court, and the court's case selection rules and practices. And the makeup of this commission, which was vital for the president, there are progressives on the court, there are conservatives on the court. People will present different opinions and different points of view, and then they'll have a report at the end of 180 days.
Okay, and then
just gave you like a quick synopsis. Try to anyway. Like I said, there was a lot to unpack, and I could have went probably another 5-10 minutes with this. But you pretty much see where this is going for the Democratic Party. The former Democratic Party, the Socialist Party, has made it very clear. It's all about the power. It's all about the greed. It's all about how much power they can accumulate within a short matter of time. They're trying to ram down everything down the American people's throat, and the overwhelming majority of the American people said, we don't want this. This is not what we wanted for. This is not what we voted for. You know, the 80 million people that voted for Trump, this is surely this is not what they voted for. But then again, you know, Biden got the most votes in history. You know, because, yeah. But when it comes to the court packing, that is critical. But the fact of the matter is that the House does not have the votes for it. They just don't. There are a number of House representatives who have already spoken up and said, yeah, no, we're not going to do this. We're not going to upend the American judicial branch. We're not going to do that. And fun fact, the Supreme Court has always got high marks, no matter which way it was slanted, where it was slanted conservative or slanted liberal. They've always gotten high marks. Now, if anybody's looked over the last several decisions, probably over the last 3 to 4 years, have they really been conservative? Take a look. You really can't call them conservative. You can basically try to call them middle of the road, kick the can, you know, I'm going to punt, you know, these kind of decisions. So when you have clowns like Markey and Nadler shooting their mouths off on Capitol Hill saying we need to pack the court, basically everything that Biden was like, no, but made it clear in 1983 when he said it was a bonehead decision when FDR did it, but it's not a bonehead decision now because he's in office. He's in power. Well, he's not really in power. It's Kamala Harris, but that's a secret. But with everything else in their agenda, it's no surprise. I think the one thing that wasn't in that 100 days was, I think, climate change, that climate change garbage being spewed. Or, hey, remember the equality bill? Whatever happened to that? That was good for about 15 minutes, and then it went poof. They don't have the votes, so why continue to push it? The stupidity and the ignorance, the moronism, the assholery that is the Dementia administration continues. And with that being said, I'm Jasper Gonzo. This is what's next. If you want to see more videos just like this, please leave a comment below. Like it, share it, hit that subscription button, slam that notification bell so you don't miss a thing. And we'll see you guys next time. Peace.